Most families build a tree, decorate the house, buy gifts, and everything seems to be in peace, right? It was so that many people grew up thinking about Christmas. And what many people don't know is that this version of Christmas is just, let's say, the tip of the iceberg. Under the surface, there is a dark and quite cruel side, a side that involves even cannibalism, and people prefer to hide, not know, not even know. Will you have the courage to get out of the cave's hole? In the midst of the beautiful landscapes of Iceland, convocations, thermal sources, and lava fields, there is a very old legend that is still used as an alert. A legend that makes parents fear for the life of their children. If you take a walk in the country, ask if the gorilla recently looked at you and see the reaction of people. It is likely that she was seriously scared quickly. He didn't act. The gorilla is known for devouring malcreated children. The first story said that she was on the streets of a northern city and had a scary appearance, a kind of monster. A big monster with red eyes, or yellow eyes, identical rotten. The gorilla stopped the couples to ask them to deliver their disobedient children. But of course, no father accepted to do that. So, for a certain time, the plans of the creature did not work out. And over the years, she ended up being expelled from the city and went to live in a cave in the mountains. Until now, there was no connection with the gorilla with the natal. No, there was no connection. What you know is that one of your first mentions in the Nordic mythology happened in Eden Prosa Coltana. This, my man, was in the 13th century. Imagine. And you know that even the most absurd legends have a little bit of a real thing. The fact is that time passed, the legends received new characteristics, and only in the 17th century, the gorilla became a kind of animal, a Santa Claus. Since then, she has developed the ability to find the children who were disobedient alone. This, for you, is already a great danger. And it gets even worse, because the gorilla receives the help of his children, the children of Yule. As soon as they find a very disobedient child, they go straight to tell the mother. And on the contrary, the day before, she does not ask her parents if they can take the children. Now, the gorilla leaves his cave in the mountains, captures the little ones, and takes them to a great mess. At the end of the story, you can imagine, right? And from the point of view, the creature uses the children to make soup and devour them. Everything because her hunger is not easy to sass. And since we are talking about the danger that children run on Christmas, there is another story that also puts the little ones as victims. This one talks about the Randstap, a creature from centuries ago, which is almost like a, let's say, Santa Claus on the contrary. Calm down, you will understand. It is legend that the Randstap lived between France and Germany, and that it would have started its history simply as a rich man. But his greed and malice made him lose everything and end up being excommunicated by the Catholic Church. To avoid any more problems, his only way out was to make a pact. Imagine who? The devil. What does it look like? The agreement with the Satanists worked out, and Randstap managed to hide in a forest. The point is that he simply did not live in peace and nature. No! The man disfigured himself in the middle of the trees and started attacking children who were approaching. Look, they just say that Randstap kidnapped the poor, and beat them into pieces. Then he fed himself to the children because of the years of cruelty. In addition to the fact that God himself was tired of seeing him leave the city. It was then that when Reese was about to kill a boy, the creator took his life with rage. This could have been the end of this evil creature, right? But it turns out that he did not go to hell after death. His punishment was to continue here on Earth, but now, devouring as a ghost. Yes, this could have made Reese become a kind of murderous entity. But something surprising happened. He decided to join the Nicolau family. Yes, the same thing that inspired the creation of the Santa Claus. Reese just wanted redemption. So, while Nicolau presented children who behaved, the ghost tried to convince the little bad kids to change their behavior so they wouldn't end up like him. Inclusive. What seems to be the legend of Reese came from a man who really existed. In Cavaliero Alma, in the 15th century, called Rains von Toda, according to the story, he had a terrible reputation. and caused certain deaths to the church during a dispute over land. Toto was exiled by the church in its history and was repressed throughout the centuries as a warning to the children, in case they didn't behave, about what could happen to them in the future. It's curious to think that there are other creatures next to Santa Claus, don't you think? Creatures that hide stories? Why can they harm the perfect image of Christmas? Oh, good luck. I'm here to investigate what's hidden. Besides the sick, the queens, Manuel's mother, and even the hunt staff. You need to know that the good old man is still accompanied by Perfuter. Have you heard this name? Perfuter. Legend says he travels with Santa Claus and has a very specific goal. He has come to tell children about the victims. Now, to feel it, don't talk about him. It's not. The story tells that it is possible to hear the sound of his chicote far away, almost as a sign that he is near. And at the end, for the bad children, there is no present of the good old man, only coal and the pain left by Futer. The most famous version of the legend says that he came in the 12th century, in a time when he was just a cruel ass. One day, he and his wife came to the Wapsie of evil and kidnapped 3 children who were on the way to the church's boarding school. The staff didn't only steal the money from the little ones, but also the murderers. The 2 of them cut the coal of the 3 children. They squared their bodies and then fed them. And here, at another disturbing point, these stories of Christmas. Did you notice that all the things I told you involve cannibalism? Well, yes, hunger led these creatures to do horrible things. But in the case of Futer, the story didn't end in such a sad way. Nobody but St. Nicholas discovered the crime. He thought it was unacceptable what happened, and used the dead children's remains to bring them back to life. It was a real miracle, and like punishment, Futer was cursed with eternal punishment. He wanted to accompany Santa Claus and punish the disobedient children, while the good old man was presenting the ones who behaved. In this case, the story shows a lot about how Santa Claus acts. He may be good, but he also keeps the secrets of the shadows. But that's why the Heinz tab tries to convince the children to change their behavior, because he knows that punishment awaits them. But if you young, adult, and elderly don't care about age, just tell me, you behaved well this year. Even if the answer was yes, I would take care of it. You never know how these creatures really work. Happy Christmas to you.